What is up, Aztec Nation? Welcome back to Sons of Montezuma Spitballers. Sorry, it's been a minute. We were trying to figure out if you guys actually liked us or not. So, here we are. This is Sons of Montezuma Spitballers. I'm Sean.
I'm John.
This is your home for all things happening on the diamond up at the Mesa, covering Aztec baseball and Aztec softball. We're going to give you kind of a rundown of everything that we've missed since our last episode. Hopefully, you guys watched the 999 and at least got to laugh a little bit. But
We were laughing.
but yeah, we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about baseball, conference play, how everybody's been doing, softball, same thing. I mean, we're just going to kind of get through it and try to get you guys all caught up. And this episode's going to be a lot of information, so maybe not as much fun as the 999, but it'll still be good. We're gonna touch on a lot of stuff.
I think that's it.
That's fine. He'll probably just cut out the end of that.
Oh, and it started immediately. Thanks. So, Sean, you ready to start baseball?
Yeah, I just got to do one thing first. Okay, now I think I can talk about baseball.
Okay. So, at the time of the recording, the boys are 12-26 with the worst record in the Mountain West overall, but sitting pretty at a conference record of 8-8, which is tied for fourth with San Jose State.
I don't know about pretty. I'd say pretty. I mean,
I mean,
they're in the dead
compared to the
center.
rest
I
of the
mean,
league.
I guess we're in the middle. We're in the middle of 8 teams, but I mean, the overall record's horrible. It's just 12 and
I mean,
26 is laughable.
worse in the Mountain West by a long shot.
I mean, no, I think Washington State only has like two more wins overall than we do. But
What's
I
weird
mean,
is the bottom team, UNLV, has almost 500 record overall, but they're 5-11
yeah, I
in
mean, it
the
does go to
Mountain
show
West.
kind of we don't really know who everybody played out of conference because I don't care enough to go and look at all
Yeah,
that. I'm not gonna lie. That seems like a
right.
lot of unnecessary garbage work.
Especially
But
especially with UNLV.
yeah, I mean, like I've told you, I just it's good news that the Mountain West is bad. Like the whole
Hmm.
conference is kind of like not great. So I mean, Fresno State's obviously been the clear best team, but they're 11-5. So I mean, it's not like they are unbeatable. We beat them once, and we'll talk
Hmm.
about that later. But I just it's still anybody's game. We got a few more weeks left in the season. Who knows? Anything can happen.
Right.
So I mean, it is
I mean,
funny
it's a
that
pretty tight
overall,
race between 2 and 7. It's
yeah. I mean,
all
it's
within two or three games.
yeah, because I mean, second place is tied between New Mexico and Nevada. I think they're 9-7, both of them. They're two of the three teams that actually have a winning record overall, like total.
Hmm.
21-16 for both Nevada and New Mexico, and then yeah, San Jose State is the third one. They're 20-18 overall. So I mean, we're playing them tonight and tomorrow, so we can make them go to a 500 record if we win both games.
Yeah. I mean, and if we win both, we'll probably move up the conference standings at least.
Well, at the very least, be in fourth alone. We should be. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like so. I think trying to catch Fresno State might be tough, but at least getting up, we can probably get to
Yeah.
second. I think that could happen. It just all kind of depends on how everything goes. But
Yeah.
which brings us to the first series since our last podcast, which was at Washington State.
Does someone here
Not
like Washington State?
good. Yeah, my brother went to Washington State, so yeah, but not when we play each other. Yeah, dude. I'm like, that was a rough weekend. And I don't know. It was bad. We got swept by Washington State at Washington State. And it was tough too, because that was right after we won against San Jose State at home. So it looked like we were, kind of on the uptick. And then Run ruled in 7 innings, 13-3. Run ruled in 8 innings, 13-3. And then in the third game, at least we didn't get run ruled, but we still got our ass beat 12-5. So
Yeah. When you're getting outscored 38-11, you're not going to have a good time.
yeah, I don't think that's very fun for anybody involved. I don't know if the weather. I don't know what the weather was like that weekend up there because it does seem like on the road games we've had some pretty cold, windy stuff, and having
Yeah.
a bunch of dudes on the team that are mainly from California, it's hard when it
If I
might
remember
be
correctly,
icy.
I think one of those games got either rained out or snowed out
Yeah, I know
because
that
I
there was an
think it
Air Force
was,
game that got snowed out.
yeah. Well, correct us in the comments. But
Yeah,
after
I
that
mean it's
series,
hard. It's
they,
kind of hard to keep track of because I mean even softball they had that what they didn't they go to Colorado State and they got snowed out. Like I'm
oh
like I
yeah,
can't keep track. It's
they were delayed and then they got pushed back. And when they finally started, they, I don't, this might be the one where they don't have lights on the field. So they ended up,
oh I remember that.
so
Yeah,
they started the second game, but then they couldn't finish the second game. So then they had to play like 2 innings the next day. It was
yeah.
a weird weekend.
We'll get to softball later, but the weather has been weird everywhere, So we have
Yeah.
earthquakes here, so it's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Everything.
That just happened. But
Alrighty.
since the Washington State game, they came back to the Mesa, going up against UC Riverside, losing 7-2, and then starting a UNLV home series, which actually looked like an uptick in the boys' performance with a couple wins, a 3-2 win, a 5-3 win, and a 3-1 win, sweeping UNLV. It looks like.
Yep. That first game, man, Marco Sapilla, dude, 8 innings. I think that was his career long. It was the furthest he's ever gone in a game.
Yeah, I mean that's
Two earned runs, one walk, 9 strikeouts. Like that. That'll
what.
help our strikeout to walk ratio that we
Yeah, what was
desperately need.
that? The entire thing we were talking about last week or last
I
podcast?
mean, we're still, if you include hit by pitches, we're still really close to like, it's a little bit over 1 strikeout to 1 walk.
Yeah,
But I mean, still, that's amazing. Marco's been killing it. I mean, obviously, he's had his ups and downs too, but I think he's been one of the best surprises of our entire bullpen or our entire
well
starting rotation. He's been
he's
fantastic.
fifth in the conference in strikeouts.
Is he really? That's great.
Yeah, with a five. Sorry, I have it here. 5.23 ERA. He's kind of killing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That
mean, and
being
then,
said, Omar Serrano also had an insane game that series. 10 strikeouts, a career high for him.
yeah.
Meanwhile, on the offensive side of the ball, Zane Kelly had 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Pretty
Yeah. And
good game to get
that
us the
second
win.
game, 5-3 win. Yep. I
Uh,
mean, honestly, the whole series was about pitching. I mean, it was great
yeah,
to see finally, because I mean, I think that's what everybody's been waiting for is your head coach is a pitching coach, and he's done so good at that. So why are we struggling so much with the
yeah,
pitching? You know what I mean? So even yeah, because I mean, the third game, 3-1 win. Garvey Remery got his first win, gave up 3 hits and 1 run. I mean, he did good. He did fantastic.
yeah. I mean, the whole pitching staff did awesome for that game. Peyton Rogers, Xavier Cardenas, a
Yeah, that was
six
the
hitter.
6 hitter, 1 run, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
I've been hyping up Peyton Rogers. I don't need to talk more about him.
yeah, and I mean, even him, he's had his ups and downs. I mean, it
Yeah.
comes with the territory, obviously. But I
Well,
think the
especially at
biggest
the
thing that
front.
we notice when we walk a bunch of people, it doesn't really end well. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's you tightrope all the way through. So I mean, I think that was another just at home at least we've had some stretches of like
Hmm.
either the pitching comes up or the hitting comes up. It's usually one or the other. The thing we need to do is get some consistency of both things simultaneously would be fantastic.
Right.
Alrighty, so
So
after
where were we at
UNLV,
next? Where
we
were we
went
at
on
next?
the road for one single game against USC, which I think technically was it said at USC, but I don't think they were actually playing at USC. I think it was somewhere in Irvine. It was like some said like Great Park or something. I don't think it was
Hmm.
actually at USC. It was somewhere else.
Interesting.
But yeah, that was an interesting game. I mean, we're not gonna. I don't want to get too much into it. We lost 6-9. It was an exciting game. We tried to come back. We Fell down 7-4, got within one in the eighth, but then we gave up two in the bottom of the eighth.
Hmm.
So it was like some hope, and then some not.
Yeah, shining star probably of that game. Nevin Noonan went 4 for 5.
Yeah.
He's on track to be one of the better hitters on the team. He's in I think in the top 15 of batting average in the conference with a 333 at the time of the recording. He's and in the top 5 in doubles, I believe.
Oh man, I will say
He's
I think that this game was like the like breaking out because after this he started being in the line score for you know whether it was just getting on base and scoring runs or RBIs or doubles or homers. Like this is when it kind of started was in
mhm,
this game. Which I
yeah,
mean, yeah, you go 4 for 5, it's going to do a lot for your confidence, right? So like you go
yeah,
up to the plate and you're going to feel pretty solid.
yeah. Then the
I will say
boys.
Jonathan Smith in that game also 3 for 4, pair of runs driven in. So I mean that's pretty good too. It was a
I've
good
been
all around
liking
game.
Jonathan
It's just
Smith.
the pitching, man. That's the thing.
Yeah,
It's you can't get both. You got the runs because if you tell me that we scored 6 runs in a game, I'd feel pretty good normally.
yeah. That's the thing in baseball. It's like if you put up 5, you're sitting pretty. I know
Yeah.
in college they score more than in the pros, but like, and so if you're putting up 6, you're expected to be in the mix.
All right. Next series is in conference at Air Force. This one is a roller coaster to
So
say
if
the
if
least.
if if 5 runs is a good outing, what is 16?
That's pretty good.
Like,
How about 27 hits? 27 hits is just insane. In this, I know for a fact this series because this day was the doubleheader because of the weather. It got pushed, so they had a doubleheader on Sunday and then played on Monday, and that was like the whole series. So
well,
first
something
game, everybody 16-4 win by the Aztecs. 27 hits, not made up, legitimate number.
Jake Jackson had 6 of them.
I just wish he would have hit a home run. I can't blame him. He tied the record for doubles by an Aztec in a game with 4, but he also tripled and he also singled. So I was just rooting for the cycle at some point. But
Yeah, we have 2 Aztecs in the top 5 for triples in the conference.
that's pretty wild.
Right? That's pretty sick. One of them being Jake Jackson.
So everybody's fast. Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
when they can get on base, they're moving.
My favorite stat from that game, the 16-4 game, is that 8 of the starting 9 had multiple hits. Like that's dope. That's like an MLB The Show game
Right,
on
right.
rookie mode.
That's when I go play in Colorado and just hit moonshots.
Zane Kelly 4 hits, Nevin Noonan 4 hits, Finley Bates 4 hits. Just like that's pretty crazy.
But then we still have a second game to play that day.
We only care about the first game. Only the first game.
Yeah, game 2 was not as good. We got run ruled in 8, losing 18-8. It was a
See,
close game
if you
until
score
the
eight
7th.
runs, if you score 8 runs, you think you're gonna be good.
You
I'm just
think?
saying. I'm just saying. It was wild. It
No,
did. It was a
we
closer game than it sounds, but
yeah, it was good until the 7th, which is crazy because we got run ruled in the 8th. But after 7, we were leading 6-4. Then we gave up 5, so we were down 9-6, and then we scored 2 more, so it's a 9-8 game. And then in the 8th inning, they had 14 batters score 9 runs on 6 hits and 6 walks.
game over.
Yeah, you're gonna lose a game. It's one bad inning. It's
Don't
something
you
that
like walk-off walks? Come on. Come on.
yeah.
A
What's
walk-off walk to get run ruled is great. It's fantastic.
the being the pitcher in that situation? You get put into the game with the bases loaded, with 1 run away from losing the game or ending the game, and you walk the
I
guy.
mean,
At least it's not your earned run.
I really can't think of like that's a pretty horrible position to be put in. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
like like oh, and it's probably like 30 degrees. So and you've just been sitting in the bullpen all day, haven't done it. Like I'm sure they're doing some stuff, but it's really hard to stay warm when you when you're just chilling. Probably on a metal bench somewhere.
Yeah.
There's like
I will
snow
say
drifts off to the side of the field. Just like, dude.
something else happened that day. In our realm, that was when we did our 999 challenge,
That was the 999 day.
which you guys can check out on the Sons of Montezuma YouTube channel. Like and
Yeah, you guys.
subscribe and all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely like and subscribe on YouTube. Duh. If you haven't already, I mean, I'd be shocked if you haven't. But tell your friends, everybody. 999. Will say you don't have to know anything about baseball really to watch that, and just you're not gonna learn. It's gonna be hilarious, but you're not gonna learn anything.
For,
I mean,
yeah,
maybe a little bit, but
yeah.
it was really fun.
For those who don't know what the 999 challenge is, 9 innings, 9 hot dogs, 9 alcoholic beverages, usually beers. We were drinking mostly twisted teas, but
Sponsor us.
yeah.
Twisted Teas in our Frost Buddies.
Tag twisted teas, tag frost buddy.
No, it was fun. I was very full at the end, but it was a good time.
Yeah, yeah. Congrats on being the one person. Spoiler alert to complete it.
I did it. I did the
Uh,
1099.
yeah, it was a long one. It was a long
Yeah, a
one.
lot of baseball.
Okay,
A lot of baseball. All right, let's get
but
back on track. Sorry, we
back
got to
to
get back to the last game. The last game of that series. Because if it wasn't a roller coaster enough through two games.
right. This one game is a roller coaster.
All right, so game three, we lost. We lost 12-10. We were trailing 9-4, and we came back. Yeah, we
Yeah.
scored 6, took the lead 10-9, and then immediately gave up the lead.
Yeah.
So just give you some hope and then completely destroy it.
Yeah, a roller coaster ninth inning to think that the boys are coming in clutch to give you the lead in a game that you really don't expect. When you're in the ninth inning down by 5, you're grasping at straws. And
Yeah.
when you come back and you're like, "Hey, we're gonna put it on the defense to do a job," and don't get me wrong, a 1-run lead is a slim lead, and it's very baseball. If we can score 6, they can probably score 2, and it's just how the cookie crumbles. And
Or,
in those,
9. Or 9.
yeah,
9 innings.
oh,
Yeah. 9 runs in an inning. Sorry, I'm not upset about that game at all. Don't mind me.
yeah,
No, yeah. I mean, they got close. They got the tying runs on base in the 9th. But
yeah.
that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Uh, After that, we played a non-conference game against Cal Baptist. It was at home, and we lost 10-4. Not a fun game to go
Yeah.
to. That being said, they went into the weekend facing Fresno State,
Which,
which
first place
at the
team. So,
time was the first place team. And we're going into it thinking we got to turn it around after a couple losses. And what do? Only get a 2-hitter.
yeah.
When
Yeah, when you strike out 16 times and only walk once, it's not going to.
yeah,
I mean, obviously, when you get 2 hit, that's also going to be a problem. But 16 strikeouts is a lot.
yeah, yeah. But
I'm like,
shining star of that one, Marco Cipolla,
yep.
had
Career
a
high with 9
career high
strikeouts.
with 9 strikeouts in 6 2/3. But still ends up getting the loss because the offensive side of the ball can't capitalize and can't back him up.
I will
In
say,
the
probably like crashing back to earth after playing, because I don't know if you know. So, Air Force is in Colorado Springs, whose elevation is like,
yeah,
I think it actually might even be higher than Denver. So, ball go far.
yeah.
So I think coming back to, I mean, San Diego, where the ball does not fly very well, probably a pretty big adjustment. Because I mean, we were hitting and scoring runs out there, and then we come back home, and it's just like,
Yeah, fair,
oh,
fair.
things to think about. I mean,
End of the game, we lost 7-0. Next game, we're still at home, and that looked like a solid game. Took the lead early. Got a 2-run home run by Nevin Noonan. Evan Escobar also got a dinger. And Omar Serrano, looking like what we thought he was going to be at the beginning of the season, gave up only 2 runs on 7 hits and a walk with a pair of strikeouts through seven solid innings is what you're looking for out of your starting pitcher.
Yeah.
And with that, we get the win with a 6-4 win. Anything else on that one?
No, I think that just goes to show exactly we haven't gotten a lot of quality starts. And so, I mean, when you're throwing like 6 or 7 guys in a game, it's going to be hard to constantly
Mm-hmm.
keep people off base. Like, I mean, the games that we do really well, it's usually we pitch like 3 people because
Yeah,
everybody's kind of on. So, no, I mean, great. It was a great game, especially
yeah,
against Fresno State, who solid team. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
They
I
were
hate them.
first place
I
team. Yeah,
absolutely hate Fresno State. If anybody that knows me, I fucking hate Fresno State so much.
I hate Fresno State more than I like the Aztecs.
No, I can't say that. I can't see that. I've the only sporting event I've ever been to where a dad of a player tried to fight me was a Fresno State football game at Qualcomm, and I was like, "Bro, your son's an offensive lineman. I'm not even talking about him." It was really funny. Anyway, third game of the series against Fresno State. Not it was a rough one as well. We fell behind early, couldn't really claw back into it. Gave up 3 runs in the first, 4 runs in the fifth, and that basically was all she wrote. Jonathan Smith hit a 2-run home run for us in the sixth, which was, I mean, that was kind of like the offensive highlight because we lost 10-2. So
Yeah.
not
I
not not
I
fantastic.
like Jonathan Smith's swing.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah. When he gets up there and looks confident, it's nice to see that boy swing for the fences. Which
Yeah.
is weird to say in some cases because like looking at this team as a whole, one of the biggest things that I think we can agree on that is an issue is mindset at the plate. When we go to games and we see the boys looking at the first pitch, it reminds me of like Jake Cronenworth from the
Mm,
Padres a couple years ago, where he literally wouldn't swing at the first pitch, no matter where it
ever.
was. And if you don't do that ever, it puts the pitcher in a situation where he's just like, I'm going to throw you a meatball because I know you're not going to swing at it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until you get past that and you put yourself in a situation where you're looking confident. But again, I'm going to have a lot of Padres references, but Fernando Tatis Jr. doesn't care if he swings at the first pitch. He has the most leadoff home runs in Padres history, and he just will swing first pitch, no questions asked.
I think for me, it's a lot of times the games that we watch and that we've been to and whatnot. There's just so often the guys go up there, and it seems like obviously everybody's good. Everybody on the team is good. Otherwise, they wouldn't be playing in college. Like, let's just get
Mm-hmm.
that out of the way. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I think that there's a thing to be said about why people are so tough on the coaching staff right now. Because there's definitely moments where people go up to bat and it looks like there's no game plan at all. Where it's
Mm-hmm.
like, you're good, go up there and hit. And it's like, it doesn't work like that anymore. You have analytics and sabermetrics, and you have to have a scouting report and a plan of what to do. Because there's so many times that like we watch games and they take, like you said, like Cronenworth, they take the strikes, the ones that are in the meat of the zone, they take them. And
Mm-hmm.
then they are defensive. And I have never seen a team fly out to the infield, like pop out more than
Yeah.
this team. Like, and
Yeah.
it's because they're defensive swings with 2 strikes so often, and we strike out a ton because you're defensive and you're not hitting a pitch that you want. You're swinging it whatever they give to you, and I mean that. I think inversely, that's kind of what's happening with pitching. Is when pitching
Mm-hmm.
is on, they have that fuck you mentality where it's like I'm better than you. I'm just gonna do what I can do. And
Yeah.
when they're not, I think they avoid contact, they fall behind, and then they get hit hard because they're either walking people, so you have to come into the zone, and then, you walk 2 guys,
It
give up a
drifts
hit, you
and
give up 2 runs. It just, I think, and so I think that's where the coaching staff is going to be what kind of comes under fire because it's like, are the guys being put in positions to succeed or not? Which obviously we don't know. We're not in the
yeah.
clubhouse. We don't know what they're being told. And a lot of the guys are young, and so that could also have something to do with it. They're still learning. They're still learning how to implement that, because in high school you don't really have that. Not, I mean, maybe a little bit, but not really.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and you're gaining confidence throughout your time at a higher level. A lot of
Yeah.
the times when you go from little league to high school, that's one thing, and a lot of the time it's different, but you have freshman year to do that. It's you have your freshman team. When you go to
Mm,
college, you're thrown into the ring.
yep.
You're going from varsity high school where you might have been hot shit, and now you're playing on a team where you're back at the beginning almost.
Yep.
Unless
Sink
you're
or swim.
yeah.
Sink or swim. I
And
mean, it's true.
so you got to have that confidence up there, especially at the plate. It's what's the Yogi Berra quote? It's 50 or 90% physical and the other half mental.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
Something. Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Sounds like a Yogi Berra quote. Yeah.
yeah, Berraism.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, we can talk about that for days. Like, we gotta let's try to finish recapping, because I know we gotta wrap this part up at least.
Well, I would just I would end it with we had one more game on the road at UCSD. We got run ruled in 7. It was a 14-3, and the big thing was we were giving up the long ball.
Yeah. Gave up 5 home
Like
runs. So
it,
maybe UCSD's higher elevation too, because the ball went out over there.
it's well, I mean, it's on the other side of the canyon, right? They're up in La Jolla, maybe the sea breeze.
Yeah.
I don't know. But at the time of the recording, the boys are at home playing against San Jose State. We'll give you guys a recap on all those games on the next pod. That being said, we are trying to get better at being more consistent. It's our first podcast. We're getting better at it, slowly but
We didn't know if you guys liked us, so
surely.
we're still figuring it out.
So
But
put it in the comments.
thanks for hanging with us. Yeah, honestly. I mean, we're gonna also talk about softball here in a bit. But yeah, I think overall my things about the team overall, it's hitting has come a long way. Like, they are putting up runs here and there, but it's in bursts, and we just
Mhm.
need some consistency throughout. Um, Other thing for me is pitching clearly has struggled. No lead is ever safe, is what
Yeah.
it really does seem like. And I think there is going to be a point where people are going to have to question what's going on with the plans. Like,
Hmm.
why is this such a, especially pitching? Because, like, hitting, okay, I get it. Hitting is hard. Pitching is also hard. But when your head coach is a pitching coach, you know, you're going to have a lot more critiques
Yeah.
about that when
And you
pitching.
bring in a new pitching coach to
Our
like
team
in as in Mark
ERA,
Melanson.
our team ERA is 7.25. 7.25. We have given up 313 runs total.
That's insane.
A lot. That's nuts. It's horrendous. I mean, 48 of them are unearned, which also has to do with, you know, obviously fielding is an issue when it comes to that, if you're making
Hmm.
that many errors. But opponent batting average 299. I mean, it's just, you got to have a better game plan. You got to change something. And it's, I mean, I will say, at least since our last podcast, at least there's been some outings by these guys that
Hmm.
have been good. And then all of a sudden they have kind of a rough one. So, I mean, hopefully they can kind of line it up towards the end of the season and we can get on a roll. I mean, that'd be solid. I would love
Hmm.
that. I
Yeah.
know everybody's tired of me or everybody kind of saying the team is young, because the team
Yeah.
has been young over the past few seasons, but everybody better get kind of used to it, because I don't know who all knows this, but like baseball and softball, they only have like 10 scholarships per team. So
Out of 40 guys.
exactly. And so, like, JD Wicker said that there was like 2 months ago, there was a San Diego State football season ticket thing that I went to, and JD Wicker openly talked about, you know, NIL and what's going on with, like, there's that court case that's going to be settled, and it's going to change things, and there's probably going to be some more rules and regulations to it, everything, which I think would be good. But nobody thinks about the NIL and
Hmm.
that aspect when it comes to baseball and softball as much. But there are teams, like, there's schools where that's all their other
Yeah.
sports aren't the focus. It's baseball and softball. And I really do think that everybody needs to kind of take a step back and, like, have these expectations for a program are kind of, they're interesting. Obviously we all want to win, but, like,
Hmm.
baseball's never really won anything.
Yeah, we have standout guys.
Yeah, sans the super famous guys. Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Strasburg, exactly. I'm wearing an Aaron Harang jersey right now. Like
Yeah.
it's obviously
Yeah.
Tony Gwynn. You got the wall of the super famous guys, but
Yeah.
like it's
Well,
just
even
even if
in the
you
pros right
even if
now.
you got a new head coach, even if you pulled a new head coach, the same situation. It's gonna be
Yeah.
all right, so
Well,
I'm not one of the 10 guys with a scholarship and I played well enough to get offered a scholarship somewhere else, I'm probably gonna leave. Why would I not?
yeah, makes complete sense to me. Yeah.
So
So coming up at the time of this recording, the boys they're playing against San Jose State right now. They'll be playing.
so at USD on
You're right.
Monday and then
You're
at
right.
home, who do we play on
Monday,
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Riverside?
Fullerton. Cal
Fullerton.
State Fullerton
Fullerton on Tuesday. Yeah.
at home. They'll be going to UNLV the weekend of the 25th through the 27th. Riverside on the 29th, and back at home May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So May the 4th be with you. They'll be back
Yeah. Star
playing
Wars night.
against New Mexico. Some of the giveaways on the 2nd will be a Tony Gwynn bobblehead for the first 500 fans. May 3rd is ALS awareness. And May 4th, like you said, Star Wars Day. So that's it for baseball, and we'll take a quick break and we'll be back to
Yep.
talk about softball.
Sorry, Mateo, that we ran long on baseball. There's a lot. We'll be able to do shorter things if we're doing them more often. So sorry, but I feel like that was.
And now for something a little bit more upbeat, let's switch on over to the softball team. Before
No shots of tequila necessary to talk about softball.
No, just
a monster.
Just some energy drinks because we're getting excited for it.
Exactly.
The girls are at the time of the recording are sitting at 27-15 with a 11-5 record in conference play. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sean. So as of right now, they're tied for second in the Mountain West, battling it out with Nevada in first and tied with Fresno State.
I will say before we get started, because I know we mentioned in baseball that it's funny because the conference is pretty bad for baseball, but softball is kind of the complete opposite. Obviously there's a top and a bottom of the conference, but I mean overall everybody's pretty solid. Like Nevada's 11-3 in first, SDSU and Fresno State 11-6, and this is just conference, like in conference play. And then Utah State 9-5 in conference, and then you kind of fall off a little bit. Boise State 8-6, New Mexico 5-9, San Jose State 5-9, Colorado State 5-11. UNLV is the worst team. They are 2-12. But that being said, a lot more winning records throughout the conference overall than there were for baseball. So it's just interesting to see because like it was almost like baseball played out of conference and got murdered, and then went into conference and has some hope, and now softball kind of dominated everybody, and now it's like our conference is pretty good. So not running away with it, but they're definitely in the fight.
Yeah, which is going to mean we're going to have some good series to recap. Because the first one we're starting with is our actual first conference series that we played out in Utah. We ended up splitting this series with a 13-8 win, then a 8-6 win. We won, but it was a doubleheader that day that they ended up playing too late, so then they had to play the next day the first 2 innings, and so they ended up winning the game still. But it was this weird. You get 5 innings into the game, and then you still have to play the last 2 later.
I just have never. I can't believe they don't have lights because that's what it was. It was darkness. Where I'm like, you're a college team and you don't have lights on your field. That's pretty.
That's very weird,
pretty
especially
shocking.
with some of the games that we've seen on the baseball field that we've gone to this year, where it's getting to be like 11:30 at night, and you're like, why am I still here?
Yeah, but I mean, I will say it was snowing, so I mean, maybe that had something to do with it because it was like freezing when the sun was out, So it's like, but yeah, that first game, 13 runs, pretty solid. Can't beat that.
It was the most runs scored in a Mountain West opener.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's pretty dope.
Which was then followed up Callie Decker hit 2 home runs that day. First time in her, I
In her
believe that's
career?
her first time in her collegiate career that
Yeah.
she hit. No, I believe she hit one more, but it was during a like tournament. I can look that
Oh,
up
got
later.
you.
But
Yeah,
but
because
it
when
was
I was
at
looking at
least
it, I
first time
thought
for the
it.
Aztecs.
Yeah, I thought it said first time in her collegiate career that she homered in the same day,
Mm,
like twice in
that
the
might be
same
it.
day. But yeah, and then yeah, well, it was weird because you look at the recap and that like 2 innings that they had to play on the next day, because
Hmm.
they suspended it, and that was when Bella Espinosa got the steal to tie the record, right?
Yeah, and that's what's always so funny about doing these recaps right now is like these games happen and there's records being broken and then we're just missing them, of course. But and we're gonna get to all of these. There's a couple because they're playing really well right now. To
Yeah.
finish
So
out
Bella, yeah,
that, yeah.
yeah,
So
go for it.
Bella set the record. Then the next series.
Oh wait, but we gotta talk about the last game of the series.
Yes, yeah. So last game of the
So
series,
so
we
sorry.
lose.
Second game, once it got resumed, Bella Espinosa got her 66th steal of of her career. So she tied Kayla Jordan's program record at 66. So she tied it. And then
Yes.
the third game, frustration a little bit. So we lost 5-4.
Yeah,
Um,
and it was close at the end. It was
yeah,
back and forth.
we scored 3 in the top of the seventh to tie it.
Yeah, we tied it, and it just down to
Well,
the wire.
it, it was an interesting game. So I mean, we can run through it. 1-0. SDSU tied things up in the top of the fifth, and then the Aggies scored 3 runs at the bottom of the fifth, and then we were down to our last 3 outs and scored 3 runs to tie
Hmm.
it. Couldn't take the lead though. And then Dee was pitching. She came back out to pitch. Got the
Yeah.
first 2 people out, and then the third person or the third batter that struck her out. And then all
Oh.
the umps met and they were talking, and like it took a while. And then they were like, "Oh no, she tipped it." So very controversial
Hmm.
call, especially because then she hit a walk-off home run.
Of course she did.
So it was a little bit of bullshit. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, the umpires were like, "It's cold. We want to go home." But no, yeah, that was how that game ended. The third game of that series. So we won the first 2, lost the third one, in kind of a crappy way. But that's softball, I guess.
We were at the USD home game after our away stint in Utah. The girls came back with a commanding 10-0 win through 5 innings. One of many mercy rule
Run rules.
games we've had this year.
Those are always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It,
Yep. Good game. I mean, I don't know how you can really beat 10-0 in 5 innings. That's pretty fast.
yeah. This was the prime time of Callie Decker this year. 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs and scoring 3 runs herself. Within the last 18 games from Callie Decker at this point, she was 30 for 56 with a 536 batting average and a 1.54 on base plus slugging.
That's
Like
kind of
that,
broken.
that's
I don't even know what you're supposed to do with that. I'm like, is it video game numbers or what? Jeez.
that's when you're playing on rookie in Colorado and just hitting tanks. But
Yeah, this game
that
was
being
pretty much
said,
over, like right when it started. We scored
yeah,
10 runs in 3 innings, and USD got 2 infield singles. That's it. Those were
yeah.
their hits. That was the whole. That was the game.
And again, it's our pitching coming up clutch. 0 runs through 5 innings. You're not going to win a ball game if you don't score runs.
Yep. And then this was the game that Bella Espinosa broke the steals record. So she got
There,
2 steals in the game, ended up with 68. So she broke Kayla Jordan's record. It was pretty good, pretty sweet. They posted it after the game up on the scoreboard. It was awesome.
mm-hmm.
We were there. We were right next to the scoreboard. Because if we're at a softball game, we're probably in the outfield.
Yeah. moving forward, we had the New Mexico series, which was also pretty good. You wanna hit that one?
Yep, another. So that was the actual rest of the homestand. USD during the week, one game, and then yeah, New Mexico at home. Game one, 1-0. All right. So we put up 10 runs, and then in the next game we score one, but they don't score any. So pretty solid. I mean, it wasn't as much of a pitcher's duel as like it sounds like because there were a bunch of people on base.
Mm-hmm.
So there were 17 runners left on base throughout that game, like for both sides combined. So I mean,
That's pretty crazy.
there was definitely some traffic on the bases. Finally, we scraped across a run in the bottom of the fifth, and that was it. That was the only run of the whole game. Jade Ignacio had the one RBI on a single that scored Bella Espinoza in the
Mm-hmm.
fifth. So I mean, I don't know, not a lot more you can say about that. Pitching held them kind of in check, let them get on, but I mean, constantly kind of tight roped out of it. So pretty
Yeah, I
solid.
mean, well, that's the thing when you're playing these games, especially in conference. You're gonna have you're gonna have blowout games, but then you're also gonna have these games that you're gonna need to find the diamond in the rough that's gonna get you that one run across, and that's exactly what happened in this game.
Yep, CC started it. Didi got the save.
Haven't heard that one before.
I know, right? now that never happens. I don't know what you're talking about. And then game two. You want to take it? You want me to go?
Sure. Yeah. Game two, we end up winning 6-2. One of those consistent offense games. I believe it was 4 or 5 of the innings. We at least scored something. And with Shannon Cunningham hitting her 4th home run of the season, it there was a point where it was just like, yeah, we're probably winning this game. 6-2, going into the sixth after a three run shot or 2 run
Yep.
shot by Shannon Cunningham. She
3 run in the
3 run,
fifth.
yeah,
Nope.
secured the win pretty distinctly.
Yeah. I feel like this was that weekend. This was the Jade Ignacio weekend too, where she kind of like showed out. Because I mean, so she was the designated player in this game, so she was just hitting. But she went 3 for 3,
Oh,
scored 2 runs, got 2 singles, and she hit a triple and an RBI.
this whole weekend was Jade Ignacio because again, the next game we win 7-1, so we get the sweep. Jade Ignacio gets her first career collegiate home run and
Yep.
ends the weekend with the cycle, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, over the course of the whole weekend. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, 750, 9 for 12. Yeah, that's pretty
yeah,
solid. I don't know how you're gonna really catch anybody doing any better than that. That's kind of amazing.
yeah,
A triple too. I feel like triples in softball, unless you're just a speedster and you hit it down the line somewhere, it's kind of hard to trip.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, because yeah, final game we win 7-1. Mexico hit a solo homer in the second, and then our pitching shut them out the whole rest of the
Hmm.
game. So
Yeah,
we scored 7, gave up 1, and then that same day Fresno State lost. So we were actually tied for first at the end of that weekend with
ooh,
Fresno State. CC got her first save of this season in that game. 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts, no walks. I'm like, that weekend was just like everybody was kind of feeling it.
yeah.
And we got a sweep.
And then we're staying at home, right? We
Nope,
stay at
no,
no, we
we go to
go to Nevada.
Nevada.
Go to
Go to
Nevada.
Nevada. Yep, we went to
Uh,
Nevada, and the very first game was another 1-0 game. But we lost this one.
yeah.
But pitcher's duel for sure.
Well, this week,
CC, I mean, she threw a complete game, but so did the Nevada pitcher.
yeah. This was a weekend of pitching. Mainly Cece and Haley McLean for Nevada. They jumped the gun, but they both end up getting pitcher of the week.
Yeah, co-pitcher of the week for the Mountain
Co-pitcher
West.
of the week for the Mountain West because they both come out the gates in 2 games this week and with a 1-0 win. So they both went 1-for-1 because they both got a 1-0 win at some point in the weekend. The one run they got in this came pretty late. It was not or in both of those games actually. It was the 6th inning when the Wolfpack got their one run to win the game, and then the third game of the series, we'll cover the second game. The third game of the series, we got it in the 8th inning.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that is true. Every single game, it was like at the very end. So like game one, there was a single and then an RBI triple. So I mean, it is kind of funny how fast it can change. But and that was in the sixth inning, and then
Hmm.
yeah, game two. Game two was kind of back and forth in the beginning. So we took the
Oh
lead
yeah.
in the third, and then we gave up a 3-run home run in the bottom of the third. So we were down 3-2, and then we gave up two more home runs, and we lost 5-2. So
Yeah.
Didi gave up three bombs, so she was a little off that day.
I believe that's our first more than two home run game that our pitchers have gave up this year.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So getting into conference play and not giving up more than two home runs is pretty solid, especially when we
Yeah,
played teams in the first quarter of the season that are as good as they are.
yeah, and I mean we lost 5-2, but at least one little baby highlight. Quinn Waikiki hit her second career home run in that game. So shout out to that. That's pretty solid. So at least
Right?
we hit a home run too.
Yeah.
And then we get to the game three, which everybody could have guessed. Obviously, duh, 1-0. Yeah, duh, of
Yeah.
course, because they happen just all the time. Run rules and 1-0 games. So as the second pitcher's duel of the series. There was only one extra base hit in the whole game, and it was a Nevada double in the sixth inning. Oh, and this
But
game goes 8 innings. So surprise.
for our first extra inning win of the season.
Yep. So we got three singles in a row in the eighth, and then Jade Ignacio, boom, boom, single, knocks
Yep.
in Bella Espinoza, and that is the only run. And then CC, shocker, doesn't give up anything, and we win.
Yeah.
I
And then
think
I got
you gotta give the stats for CC for that weekend because that was
oh
ridiculous.
God. Over the weekend, going 1-for-1 in two games where it was a 1-0 win and a 1-0 loss. 0.66 ERA with a 5 strikeout to walk ratio in 10.2 innings or 10 and 2/3 innings, striking out 10 batters. I don't have her whip in front of me, but that is insane.
Yeah, that's bonkers. And that was what her second time winning pitcher of the week
Yeah.
in Mountain
And
West. Yeah,
I will say I also got to shout out her battery mate, Callie Decker, on the defensive side of the ball, picked up two runners caught stealing to put her in 20th in the nation
wow.
for catching people on the base paths. She's
I
9 for 17.
I was gonna say I feel like we throw everybody out. We have not
Our
given up that many stolen bases.
Yeah, there's a stat out there that was putting our catchers with runners on base do not get far.
Yeah, I mean that takes away so much because I mean
Hmm.
that's what we do that to teams where we just run and run
Hmm.
and run and run. And so it's funny because we talk about the games and stats and like obviously it's like yeah home runs and RBIs and all that, but we have so many people like so many girls on this team that like they just do a job. Yeah, it might not be like a super crazy stat line, but it's like Bella Espinoza, prime example, gets on first and then drives you nuts because she's just fast. And so it's like she steals second, she steals third sometimes. Like you get a single, she scores. Like it's just nuts. Like
Well, it's that old school beat them down kind of play. You're put in a position where if this person gets on base, they need a single and they're probably scoring.
right.
Because they'll get to second, they'll get to third, they'll do whatever it takes to get into a scoring position, and they're fast enough that a single to center field when they're on second base is no question they're going to score.
Yeah. Well, what do they say? Speed kills, right? So it's like you're fast, so you make people make errors,
Hmm.
so you get extra bases. Like if the pitcher is worried that you're going to try to steal second, they're not trying to locate; they're just trying to hurry up and get the ball out of their hand and
Yeah,
home. I know you can't lead off in softball, obviously, but still, there is part of it that like if you're not throwing hard enough to home, then the person's going to get an extra step going to second.
yeah.
So I
The
mean,
catcher can only do what they can when
yeah,
once they get the ball, but that time is key.
yep. Alrighty, so at home against Fresno State now is where we're
Hmm.
headed,
Yeah, we got
and
a couple 2-game series.
yeah. So coming
Yes.
into this, Fresno State was in first in the Mountain West with a 7-2 record, and then we were a game back, 6-3. First game of the series or of the day, we win 2-1. Gracie Uribe hits a bomb, and I believe she pitches as well.
She pitches the next game.
She pitches the second game. That's right. So the whole day was about Grace. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So she hits a home run in the first game, 2-run bomb. We win 2-1. CC and Didi just kind of shut it down. Only give up one run.
As they do. As they do.
Yep. And I mean, it's a pretty epic tandem, especially Didi always coming in and getting saves.
Yeah. Well, then you have Grace that just is going to do it by herself.
I mean, she just can do so many things. I think that's what's so impressive. She hits, she's out in the outfield, she pitches so good. Like, it's really cool that we have that three. I mean, we obviously Ava Schaffel, right? Is it Schaffel? Schaffel. She does well when she pitches too. But I mean, you got that big three that you can always kind of depend on. So Didi, CC, and Grace.
The second game, we actually end up losing. Grace is throwing a no-hitter going into the fifth inning. She gives up one, and then that just kind of opened the floodgates because the next two innings we give up three.
3 each inning, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be perfect all the time.
No.
I mean, yeah, no hitter. Grace only gave up 1 run. So, but CC and Didi, they both came in, both gave up 3 each. So, but it happens. I mean, when you're having to go constantly, I think those doubleheader days, man, they're just so tough.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because when you're starting a game, you're coming back into a different game. Like I wouldn't. Obviously, I don't pitch softball because I couldn't even throw 1 pitch the way that they do. Like I have no idea. I probably dislocate my shoulder. I have no idea. But like in baseball, I mean, that's obviously not really a thing. But I couldn't imagine. You come out and you're like, okay, completely different mindset, and then you got to come back in. That's wild.
Yeah, we're winning this game, and then you come back in, and you're like, oh wait, now I have to lock it down like less than 4 hours later.
Yeah, like hella respect to softball pitchers because I can't do any of that.
So then the girls go away to Colorado State, end up splitting this series as well. 1-2 loss. This one was a rough one. We had people were getting hits, getting in scoring position, and we just couldn't capitalize throughout that one.
Yeah, we left 8 runners on base.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're gonna have a bad time.
Guess who doubled twice? Jade Ignacio, just hitting dubs for days.
Double.
I think that's the thing that's been super impressive to me is like, yeah, we've had like Callie Decker's been on fire for pretty much the whole season and whatnot, but everybody that was kind of like ho-hum in the beginning of the season at the plate, like they've all had stretches now where they're just killing it.
Yeah. Well, it's showing that this is such a good team as a whole because you're going to have times when you're in a slump or you're just not – you might be hitting the ball really well, but it just finds a glove. But then you have all these other girls out there that can pick you up and help the team, and you're not put in a position where you have to be the one person that's doing it all. Yeah. It's awesome having this squad of top to bottom of the lineup that you're getting solid at bats up and down.
Yeah. Well, in productive outs, I think that's the thing, was when we were struggling in the beginning of the season with like ranked teams and whatnot, we were striking out so much. Like nobody was walking, we were striking out like all the time. Because what I've noticed is even when there's like the closer games that we don't win, or if we do get kind of shut down, it's not that we're not getting on base anymore or that we're striking out 16 times. Like it's, we get on and we just don't come through, which it is kind of ironic because looking at this, so we have that game, the first game of the season or the series. Yeah. And then we have the next 3 games.
Yeah.
So I think maybe got a little pissed off. They were like, I can't believe we didn't score any runs. And then it was like, let's score all the runs. So game 2, right?
Cunningham. Yes.
Shannon Cunningham. Game 2 against Colorado State. Hey. So,
a triple and a home run?
I think it said, there was some stat that said she was like one of the first, like she's one of the first people, like players for SDSU softball to homer and triple in a game in like years. So Shannon Cunningham, RBI triple in the first inning, and then she hits a home run in the 3rd inning. And then we scored 5 times in the 4th inning. and 3 of those were off of a Gracie Rebate bomb, which I'm like, all right, everybody just hitting nukes.
Yeah,
And
staying comfortable
then
at the plate.
Uribe pitched, Grace pitched that game too, and she gave up 2-run home run in the third, and that was it. So we won 10-2 in 5 innings. Just
Get used to hearing win in 5 innings. That's gonna because
because that
we
was
come
just the
back
first
home.
time.
Because we come back home, and Grace Uribe shuts it down again, only allowing 3 base runners in a complete game shutout, winning 8-0 in 5 innings.
You
Off
know it's going to
of
be a good game when you hit a grand slam in the first inning. It's usually pretty good. Jasmine Williams, grand
yeah,
slam, first inning, which I will say, I really do feel like that this was the beginning of her breaking out. Like,
yeah.
she kind of had a rough go in the beginning because I think with Lala getting hurt, she was one of the ones that got moved around a lot.
Hmm.
Lala got hurt. Jasmine had to kind of. She was in the outfield, then she was at second. And now she's playing third a bunch, which it's funny because since she's moved to third, she's just been smashing. She's hitting like a third baseman,
Yeah.
nukes. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know how you can have more of a complete game than that. You got a grand slam. Your pitcher doesn't give up any runs, throws the whole game. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll take that all day.
So you like Grand Slams?
I like. Well, where are we at, bud?
Welcome to Slam Diego, because
Indeed.
this next game was one might say the opposite of a nail biter.
Yeah, well, and
Uh,
I think it might be the first time I've ever heard of what happened at the end actually happening. So that's kind of funny.
yeah. So the first time in our coach's career where she's been coaching, or at least at San Diego State, where we've had back-to-back games with a Grand Slam. This one ended up happening with Shannon Cunningham, a pinch hit walk-off Grand Slam
Run rule.
run rule because we won 12-4. And what's crazy to
And
me is this isn't the first time Shannon Cunningham has hit a walk-off pinch hit Grand
Grand Slam.
Slam
This
this
season.
season.
Yeah, I'm like,
So,
talk about doing that twice in your life. I'm like, no, twice in like a couple of months. It's fine, whatever.
do you remember when the first time was?
I remember because we couldn't watch it.
Because it was the same, well, not because, but it was the same day as the Daytona 500.
Well, but I mean, we couldn't
Yeah,
stream it. It wasn't
yeah.
even, there was no way to stream it.
There's no video of it anywhere. But
So
we
I
have video of this one.
just watching the Gamecast whatever thing on my phone, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe she actually hit a walk off grand slam.
Right?
I mean, that's pretty wild. It's funny too because this game did not start good. We gave up
No.
4 runs in the first inning because we had 2 errors in the first inning,
But the
and
bats
then
came alive.
well, and Cece came in and pitched, and she only got one person on base after that. So the last 3 and 2/3 innings, there was one base runner.
Yeah, you want to talk about stat line. At the end of this series, I'll tell you CC's weekend stat line. Because that's another
Yeah,
crazy one.
yeah, yeah. Because the other one was good, but this was even
Yeah.
better. But yeah, Jasmine Williams in the second game of the series too. She 2 for 3, an RBI, a double. I mean, the bat just kind of like came alive.
Yeah. So at the end of this week, CC and Jasmine would both end up earning Mountain West Player of the Week honors. CC getting Pitcher of the Week and Jasmine Williams getting Player of the Week. CC had a 0 ERA this weekend,
That's pretty
which
good.
is pretty good. A .23 WHIP, which for those who don't know, it's walks and hits per innings pitched. So
She
you're
probably like, gave
letting,
up one base runner, like one base
yeah,
runner forever. It's like it. That's the only person.
yeah. But it wasn't a walk because she had 0 walks, and she threw 8 and 2/3 scoreless innings.
Yeah, she gave up 2 hits. That's what it was. 2 hits and had 5 strikeouts. So yeah, that
Yeah,
was the thing, right? Her strikeout to walk ratio was technically infinity.
yeah. Well, when you don't walk anybody, your walk to strikeout or your strikeout to walk ratio is pretty good.
I will say, so back to the third game of that series, Ava Schaffel, she and Cece, they only gave up 2 hits in the whole game.
Yeah,
Which, I mean, like I said, all of our pitchers they're just solid. And that was another sweep.
gotta love sweeping UNLV.
I mean, I just like
Uh,
sweeping anybody,
yeah.
but and then that's pretty much we're kind of caught up at that point.
We will catch you guys up on the current weekend in the next pod. That was against Boise State.
Boise State,
Boise
Boise
State.
State.
Boise State.
John, one is blue. One is blue. They've got blue turf. Not on the softball field. That'd be hilarious if they had it on the softball field. But
Right. We're going to catch you up on that. And then they'll be back home. What is this upcoming weekend?
yep, we'll play a couple games against Arizona, I believe.
Yeah, that's
The
right.
University of Arizona. It's interesting that in the middle of conference play, we just kind of have random out of conference 2-game series.
Right. But hey, we'll take it if it's going to be a good game.
It's almost like softball is just too easy because we're just doing good. Like there's nothing to really critique. Like it's not like baseball where I have to be like, okay, let's try to not be angry. Hitting 3.10 ERA, 3.2
Yeah.
strikeout to walk ratio as a team is like 2 strikeouts to every 1 walk. Like pitching wise, like it's just insane. Like
Well, it's funny when we will say something on the pod and then like by the time it gets released, the girls are already making that change. Like they're striking out a lot and they're not walking enough. And then it's like, oh well, we're hitting now. We're
yeah,
we're we're mercy ruling people and we're getting on base and we're moving over and we're doing all this. And it's like,
I think the coaching staff for softball just they know what's up. They know what they're
yeah,
doing. They know what success is, and I think the other thing too is you got everybody on that team seems to like the chemistry and the camaraderie. Like when you watch them play, I think
yeah,
that's a big part of it because I mean we're kind of seeing it with the Padres right now, where I mean the bunch of guys are hurt and you got kind of random dudes filling in and they still are winning, and so chemistry can do a lot for a team. Everybody seems like they're friends and they're down to help, like you said. Like it's not on just like a couple people to make it happen. Everybody can step up, and so that's pretty
well,
awesome.
the clutch factor is there on many stages. I mean, Shannon Cunningham's 2 walk-off pinch hit grand slams is above and beyond, but there have been a lot of crucial at-bats throughout the lineup this season.
Yep. I think the biggest thing that we talked about last time was because it was when they were kind of floundering a little bit. It was when Lala got hurt, and she was on in the top of the lineup, always getting on base, and they kind of had to figure out who was gonna play in what positions. And now it seems that everybody that's had to step up has kind of they've gotten comfortable with
Mm-hmm.
playing where they're at. Where you can be kind of stressed out when you're going to the field and you don't even know if you're going to be in center or second or third or where, in the lineup or what you're going to do. So now that they all have, I'm trying to think of the word, like adapted to what they
Yeah.
need to do. Now it's just kind of second nature. So I think that's been a huge part of it.
Mm. Well, I
So,
think that's all the time we got for today. We hope to see you guys out there this upcoming weeks. And go Aztecs.
yeah, go Aztecs.
My laptop died. It's still recording.
Well, that's not good.